I know, there's no screen to not work.
I guess so. We're gonna have to entertain.
I know, right?
Jeez.
Oh, we ready. We ready.
Are you ready, guys, for the DVC panel?
Yeah.
Excellent.
I know. I got a hype man in the audience. I like it. You can stay. We'll hire you.
There you go. We had a warm up back.
Yeah. That's nice. Good.
Whose is this?
Oh, did somebody leave that? All right.
Interesting.
Well, the panel will be us going through it.
Yeah, you gotta go through it.
Would you like a bag?
Count all the money. Oh, I got enough bags.
Right. Hey, wait, hello, yes. Welcome everybody to the DBZ panel for our last panel at Comic-Con Revolution.
Yeah! Woo!
Looks like you emptied out the con.
I know,
Right
just to
here.
come here. I love it. So I'm host Ruth Van Thompson. Some of you know me as Bulma from Dragon Ball Z Light of Hope. But more importantly, we have both Kyle and Hebert here and Damien Clarke. So give them a round of applause.
Yay!
Dragon Ball Z Idaho?
No.
Oh,
No, Light of Hope. It was based on the A History of Trunks movie.
Okay.
Yes.
But now that you bring up Dragon Ball Z Idaho, have you seen it?
Oh,
It's great.
Idaho.
It's very weird.
That's where
whole
one of our
universe is
compadres has moved there recently.
Yeah, Roger.
Roger
Craig's
Craig
doing his
Smith.
own thing up there with Dragon Ball Z. No, I'm just kidding.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hey-o.
Idaho.
Idaho.
Yeah!
Idaho.
Idaho!
Part of the world.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right, so starting with Kyle, he's a voiceover artist that's been working for many years, ever since his debut as a DJ for Disney Radio back in the 90s. Yeah, oh boy. So were you doing a lot of voices on that, or was that
Yeah.
just straight DJ work?
It was DJ and it was character voice stuff. So we would do like radio theater and we would just be on the air and I would just have all sorts of characters. And it was a playground.
Yeah.
It's just like not your typical top 40 DJ thing, but kind of that vibe. So all the DJs were trying to come across as hip older siblings. You know?
You
Yes, we
and
tried.
who was your partner?
Kara Edwards was on the air with me. Kara Edwards is the voice of Goten and Videl. And there's some other people from behind the scenes that worked at Radio Disney that have since been doing some stuff for Funimation for years as well. So that door opened for a lot of us in the radio side, which was pretty fantastic and making a dream come true. So I've been always wanted to do voiceover for animation.
Awesome.
Yeah. And so, like, for a lot of people, we're so used to the digital age where everybody can record stuff all over the place, but, you know, back before the internet and, like, all that kind of stuff, it was not as prevalent, and so the family seems a bit small.
We used to do it via fax machine.
Yeah, right?
Right? Smoke signals.
Exactly.
No, but we actually did do. Were you there for the tapes? Or did you do
Yeah.
yeah.
So
what were they,
kids,
beta
what tapes are.
Podcast beta.
We got these big old tapes, I guess from Japan, right? And then there was this big deck, and then it wasn't, you know, beep boop bop, it was chunk. And so whenever we'd screw up a line or whatever, you'd have to wait like half an hour for it to queue up again.
Yes.
Yeah, wow, that's some old man.
Yeah.
And then we get on our horse and ride home.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. You know, uphill both ways. But Damien, so your career started more on the acting side for live action, film, and TV. So how did you get into voiceover work?
I don't know, like, how do you get into voiceover work? You meet people and you audition for things, and I think you gotta want to do it first of all, right? And then if you want to do it, then you figure out how to do it. That's a clever answer, wasn't it? No, but seriously, like, you're like, how do I do this? For,
Phone.
hello? Was that you, Chelsea?
No.
Nice, real professional. So I think when I moved to Dallas from Toronto, and I was working up there as like an assistant director, blah blah blah. And then I met my now ex-wife. I moved to Dallas, and I thought, I don't know what I'm gonna do in Dallas, right? Bartend. Did that for actually a minute, but then I met Eric on an independent movie, and then Eric got me into Dragon Ball Z, and Bing Bang Boom, here we are. With Kyle.
Yeah.
Nice.
Eric being Eric Bill.
Eric, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
made
and-
it interesting.
So Kyle mentioned that he always wanted to do voiceover work and always wanted to do character work. For you, was that always? Is there any like character that you always wanted to voice that you haven't been able to yet?
Archer, but I mean, but
Oh.
I mean, there's no way you're gonna do better than H. John Benjamin.
Oh my God.
But you know, God forbid something happens to him. You know, God forbid something happens to him.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? No.
I actually auditioned for Archer, but then you audition for crazy roles like that. No, never in a million years was I gonna get that. But you're like, oh, this is such a cool character while you're reading it. Those things come along once in a million years, right?
Yeah.
It's like a handsome Jack kind of whatever thing. It's like a freak thing. They don't write a lot of stuff like that. But yeah, I'd say Archer.
Yeah. And how about you, Kyle? Is there a voice that you have not been able to do yet that you've always wanted to?
Sure. I mean, I would die happy getting to do something in the Batman world, or comic book cartoon stuff, or Star Wars. Just be the random stormtrooper that just goes, ah! It's like, hey, that was me.
Yeah, you could be the Wilhelm scream. We need a new one.
Yeah, we need a new Wilhelm screen.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
So you guys weren't aggressive Dragon Ball Z fans to come into this. What was your nerddom kind of lay, right? So like, was there something that you grew up loving and got you into this industry?
Something made you want to be an actor, right?
Yeah.
The money. No, it was. Which is hilarious because that's not a lot of it there. But no, of course, yeah, there has to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't know what that defining moment was in my past. But I mean, I remember Star Wars. I think was because every kid wanted to be Han Solo. I think that was kind of like, oh, you know what it was? Dukes of Hazzard.
Really?
Not a racist, by the way. I was way too young and I lived in Canada. No, it was, but I actually, this is how smart I am. I wrote a letter, like to Santa Claus, but it was the Dukes of Hazzard asking if I could be on their show.
Dear Santa, please let me be on Dukes of Hazzard.
And I remember writing, and the sad thing is I was 19 at the time. No, I don't know. 5, 6, I don't know. But I was like, dear Dukes of Hazzard, like I really thought it was kind of real. The Duke brothers, I guess. Luke and Duke. Is that right?
Bo and Luke. Duke.
Bo and Luke. I'm really good at yeehaws. It's weird how some things stick in your head from a kid. Like I don't remember any of my childhood. For some reason, I remember that letter. Anyway, I think so. Long story short, probably Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah.
Because I mean, how fun did that show look, right?
Right? Yeah.
Every time we jump in the car.
Yeah, because there's no easier way to get in a car than sliding across the hood.
There's always a
you
convenient
know?
mound of dirt somewhere.
Yeah. That's, you know. How about you, Kyle? What was your big fandom?
Nerddom. Yeah, Star Wars for sure.
Oh yeah.
But I grew up, as any kid would, into cartoons and all that, Looney Tunes, just learning about all that, and Mel Blanc voicing all those characters. That just kind of planted the seed from early on. It's like, I want to do this. And I actually was a Dragon Ball fan before we started.
Yeah.
So I started on there. So it's like I used to go around imitating the narrator.
Oh,
And then
really?
Fast forward, I'm Gohan, and then suddenly I take over the narrator. We lost Dale Kelly. We didn't lose him like he died or anything. For
Rest
whatever
in peace,
reason,
Dale.
he was no longer there. And
Yeah.
they said, "Hey, Kyle, we heard your voiceover demo. Would you want to give it a shot?" Like, yes, of course.
You manifested that.
That's just crazy.
Give me some knuckles.
That's awesome.
Manifested. Put
You
it out in the
made
universe.
that happen, man.
Dude.
Yeah, and it's just so great because like it was
That's
so
awesome.
not cool to like anime or be any sort of flavor of nerd like back in the day, and now look at this, like it's amazing.
Yeah, nobody knew about that stuff back then.
No.
Oh my Dragon. I didn't know there was a difference between anime and just like a cartoon. You don't call it a cartoon.
No.
Yeah. No.
Oh no.
Punched in the throat.
How
doing
dare
that.
you. Start a riot at a con.
Here.
How dare
See,
you.
cartoons are animation, and anime is Japanese animation.
What do you call animation like? What's that show thing with the kid and
that's-
The Amazing World of Gumball?
J.K. Simmons is in it. It's a really good
Avatar.
Netflix. It's
No.
a Netflix show right now. The kids.
Oh, yeah, Avatar.
Thank you.
Avatar.
What do you call it when you got a bunch of American artists kind of doing an anime style?
Ruby.
Ruby.
Oh, similar to Ruby.
Word for that?
What is it? What? Wanime?
What did you say?
Wanime?
No, I think it's just animation.
Western animation. Okay, thank you for that.
Excellent example.
But then,
surprised there's not a term for that.
yeah, there's probably at every level of term, because then there's the ones that are like technically American paid for, but then
Yeah.
then it's made in
Yeah.
Japan, and like, so
I agree with that.
Anime? Too many
The
words.
Netflix Voltron.
Yeah, right?
That looks like
With their powers combined, yeah.
it looks like anime, but they were recorded as a group together, like a cartoon would be. So I think it was animated after the fact, as opposed to anime, where it's animated and then even the Japanese cast dub their own shows.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Notice that because they don't always match the lip sync.
Yeah, not as great. But now there's this new technology to actually move the mouth however you want,
Yes.
which is awesome and yet terrifying, because Lord knows what can happen. Yep, there's one company called Flawless who's doing it actually for live action. So we'll see how the technology goes, but I'm
we're
sure.
so out of a job in the next 10
All right.
minutes.
AI voices, man, it's scary. They're getting good with that. So
Sure, man.
you log on to a website and you enter, even our voices on some characters are probably there, and you just type in, I want to go shopping, and then suddenly it comes out, it's our voices, but we didn't say it. It's just the algorithm, and suddenly we're out of a job. That's a very real threat.
That's happening.
I really don't want Cell to be my GPS voice. That
Yes,
would
you
just
do.
be terrible.
Oh.
Turn that bitch.
Kind of sounds like some.
You definitely want that.
Okay,
You know-
whoever's recording this, I need that as my cell phone ring or something. That would be a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Check all messages.
There's a cash cow thing there. Funimation/Crunchyroll wants to do GPS thing on Waze, like they had.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you mean like an Alexa?
Yeah.
You know, like Alexa, basically, basically find me the Dragon Balls.
Yeah.
But they have the Dragon Ball narrator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
You have the immortality.
Last month, when this turn.
I know this because my agent's got these grandkids, whatever, and I'm in her car being driven around, and she's got Paw Patrol giving her navigation, which is a problem because they're like, turn left now, and then it goes, go, 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 and you're like, what the hell is going on? Like, turn this off, it's stressing me out. It's a horrible idea, isn't it?
Yeah.
Add a sense of urgency where there is no need for it.
Well, because I know Arnold Schwarzenegger is a voice for GPS. Like,
Yeah.
turn left again.
Wait, wait.
Yeah. So
That's interesting.
we know how you guys got into voiceover work. Is there anything that you would say to anybody up and coming, of like any suggestions you'd have for them? Not once.
I want to be a voiceactor.com. Great website.
EdgeStudios.com, also a good website.
Excellent.
Yuri Lowenfeld's got a good website.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you have a website?
Not about voice acting. No, but
It's
there
such
are
a loaded
people.
question, right?
There are people that are in our industry that are now teaching, like Steve Bloom.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the Funimation people actually do some coaching stuff. It may be online because of the pandemic, so look into that. Google is your friend. But yeah, the thing about voice acting is not doing voices, it's acting. And then, portraying every performance and bringing the script alive through just words as opposed to physicality. Being on the stage, on camera and all that. It's a whole different beast.
Yep.
So, and
There's
it takes
different
time.
genres of it, right? It's-
Very different genres.
Right? I mean, doing ad copy is like, I still don't know how to do that.
Yeah. There's a radio way of announcing a commercial, like, come on, Sunday, everybody, or just sounding like Joe Schmo trying to sell you Starbucks.
Which is hard, like, you have to make this ad agency copy,
Yeah.
and like, you really have to care about what you're talking about, and it's sometimes impossible or very hard.
And they want real. They always say, nothing
Yeah.
cartoony, even though cartoony's in. We want realistic, grounded things. It's like, so you want us to sound like we're not actors, but we have to train to be actors so that we can
They don't
pretend that we're not actors. I mean,
They don't know what the hell they want.
No.
They don't.
They ask for things they think they want, and then somebody gives them something, and they go, oh, that's good, but it's never probably anything
Right.
close to the breakdown they put out. But no, that's the thing, is acting, right?
Yeah, and you have to have a thick skin because 9 times out of 10, they're not going to pick you.
Especially
Not
for
because you're
boys.
bad, but you're just not what they're looking for. And you
Yeah.
could go for years. You could take every class in the world, have a great agent, have a great demo, and still have nothing to show for it.
Because it's worldwide now with the Webinar. I mean,
God,
it's
yeah.
just like, forget it.
we now have the technology to fairly cheaply be able to record from home in a, as long as you've got the good, walk-in closet or a recording space and an engineer says, yep, it sounds professional, broadcast quality. You could literally be anywhere to record for projects.
Like Idaho.
Like Idaho.
Like Idaho, for example. Yeah.
Dragon Ball Idaho! I can't wait to see that.
Oh my God, let's get busy working on that, shall we?
Yeah, right?
let's
Let's
do
do
that.
it.
Idaho.
And then there's obviously like podcasts, it's very easy to do from home. And speaking of podcasts,
Yes.
you're not DJing anymore for Disney Radio, but you
Oh,
do
go.
have your own podcast. You want to tell everybody about it?
I do a podcast called The Intergalactic Boombox. So it's just me doing geek news, but I also talk to myself and other voices. Not the ones you know me for, though, because I don't want to get sued. So I create
Understandable.
characters. I have alien characters. I have a conspiracy theorist that sounds like J.K. Simmons, actually. Cool. His name's Conspiracy.
Conspiracy. I love that.
So search out The Intergalactic Boombox, kids. It's about 15 minutes each episode. It just posts every Friday. I just talk about nerdy stuff and hopefully make it fun and theater of the mind type thing with sound effects and music. It's usually me just doing a cappella music, multi-layered with fake drum noises and because you don't want to get taken down for copyright.
The more you talk about this, the more I feel like I just dropped acid. What?
Yeah.
I gotta check this out.
You're doing worse. Yes, The Intergalactic Boombox. Please check it out. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, of course.
Never get to promote that.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Well, I
Kyle.
get people to listen. Like, I don't know. I promote it like crazy on social media, and yet a year
Crickets.
later,
Yep.
crickets.
Yep.
Now there's some. There's
Yeah.
not a lot.
And Damien, you're on a lot of TV shows, like going through and like a lot of huge fan favorites. You're on Supernatural, like for the longest you been on How to Get Away with Murder, Graceland, you're even on Castle. Is there anything that you've been on that you've been like super stoked because you were a fan of the show and you're like, yes, I get to be on the show now?
24 was probably a pretty oh wow moment where you're on set and you're in a scene, but you're like, I'm in this scene right now. This is like, you're totally not supposed to do that, by the way. Yeah, 24. Supernatural is a good example. There's been a few. Castle's another one.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get to play serial killer, a lot of serial killers for some reason. I don't know why.
It's like they watch Dragon Ball Z or something, I don't know.
How about Scanner Darkly?
Oh, that was nuts.
A movie that looks animated, but it's just
Yeah.
drawn over
That's a
live
good one,
action.
actually. That's a good example. I forget about that one. Yeah, because of, the cast too. Like, what a weird table read that was, where you got Woody Harrelson, Robert Downey, and then you got Keanu Reeves, Winona Ryder, yada yada yada. And you walk into that table read and you just forget it.
What?
Yeah, because
Is
it's
this real?
impossible. Yeah, it's like, how do you act like that? That would be like being in a scene with Daniel Day-Lewis for me. I think I don't know if I can handle that. Like you maybe get into it after a little bit. You're like, you're Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
And then you'd be watching them like, oh my God, you're so good. So is my line now? Okay, cool. Yeah, certain, that was a cool movie. You ever see Scared Darkly?
I did.
That was wacky, huh?
That was a crazy one.
That Philip K. Dick novel was kind of fun too.
Yeah.
Guy that did Blade Runner. No.
Are there any TV shows or movies that you're like, I really just gotta get on that show?
It's really Black Mirror.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that to come back. What's going on? Oh, The Boys.
Come on.
Boys.
Boys is
Boys?
amazing.
Oh, I can't wait for that to come back. Actually, there's a ton now that I think of it. Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Give me a
Yeah.
horse and put me on that show forever, man.
You know,
How awesome is that show? Yeah,
So
a ton
good.
now that I think of it, yeah.
How about you, Kyle? Any shows are on right now that you want to do voiceovers
I
for?
don't know, any and all.
Yeah, right? Give me
all
that
the
work.
Marvel stuff, all the Star Wars stuff. Again, just
Mhm.
be happy.
Yeah.
I don't know how to crack that nut, man. It's hard. It's hard to get in.
Yeah, that
with
Disney
anybody.
wall is aggressive.
Well, the cartoon wall. Is,
Yeah.
Because I was telling
So
many people that the folks that are doing it successfully have been doing it for decades. They know a good thing when they have it. They're not going to give that up unless they die or retire.
Yep.
And I wouldn't blame them. I wouldn't do the same. And I would do like them too. So it's like, I've been in this business for 22 years and there's so much that I've done, but there's so much I still want to do. I want to say, yeah, I'm on a Cartoon Network, Warner Brothers, Disney / whatever, DreamWorks type thing. And, it's always going to be an uphill battle unless you're a super big celebrity who an agent just has to make a call for you, but you know, we're trying to.
That's the thing, your agent has to be able to get into those doors.
Yes.
You can be as talented as all get out, but if you're not, you don't have the right agent, it's kind of.
The agent is your door that will unlock the opportunities, not guaranteed, because some people think an agent's job is to get you work. That's not correct. An agent's job is to supply you with opportunities to get cast. Up to that, that's it. It's up to fate. You don't know. You just do the best you can at every possible audition, and you know, it's up to
Gigantic
fate.
wrestler out there that terrifies me.
Wrestling.
Hi guys! A dude that looks exactly like Thanos?
Yes.
He looks exactly like Thanos.
He does.
Did you shake his hand?
No.
It's a catcher's mitt.
Crazy.
So he's like a different human being. I'm like, are you from this planet? He's so nice guy though.
Yeah,
Yes.
speaking of that though, because we know that Dragon Ball Z fans are some of the most intense and most widespread fans, right? Because we had Sammy here, who's a wrestler who was absolutely crazy about
Yes.
Dragon Ball Z.
Well, they're
Yeah, and it's like he's been trying to get on these panels, but he's so busy signing stuff. But for you guys, have you ever had somebody like a celebrity or somebody that you would never have expected them to be a Dragon Ball Z fan and like approach you and be like,
All
oh my
the
god.
time, dude, right?
Yeah. So what kind of what people are you like? Oh, really? Oh, well, thank you, but didn't expect that.
Yeah. Got pulled over by a cop once. It wasn't for it was a traffic violation. But this was like when like Borderlands was like, I don't know, it's still a thing obviously.
Yeah.
But anyway, long story short, he recognized my name and my voice, and that was interesting.
I mean, the real question is, did you get out of the ticket?
Nope.
Nope.
Yeah. Anyway, big fan.
Yeah.
Thanks for nothing. But yeah, man, for sure. There's tons of crazy, like, widespread fan base. It's,
I think Travis said that he met Ewan McGregor and said that he was a fan of Full Metal Alchemist.
that's awesome.
I'm like, what? His life.
That's awesome.
And years after I was no longer with Radio Disney, I was listening to like an interview with Metallica and Lars Ulrich or something saying, what's something your kids are into? And they listen, he was like, no, Radio Disney, good God. You know, it's like, wow, well, at least they know about it. They may not be happy, but.
Yeah, anime really, especially during the pandemic, gained a whole much broader audience too. So
Yeah.
there's a good chance, probably a larger chance that you're gonna talk to somebody that if you just mention it, that they're going to be a fan or know of it than not, especially compared to like, I don't know, what, even 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Yeah, because the people that were kids watching Dragon Ball Z, for instance, they're now grown up, they're having kids of their own, and they're getting jobs in the creative field, and some of them have the power to cast, and it's like, hey, I'm gonna call my favorite voice actors. It's like, hey, sweet.
And then you've got, movies being made out of Borderlands, right? So I'm sure Eli Roth is a fan, or he wouldn't be doing it otherwise. Maybe the cast, I don't know who in that cast.
I hope they throw you
is a
guys a
fan.
bone. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I did some poking around. Apparently, we're not in.
Not a thought?
You gotta try it though, right? No, it's a totally different universe, timeline, whatever. I don't know what the heck you're doing with it.
Oh, okay.
Like
Yeah.
Kevin Hart's playing Hanson.
Oh my
I
God.
don't know. Let's just made that up.
Like, we tried at the time when Dragon Ball Evolution was just an idea.
Oh, dear God.
Funimation tried to, it's like, you have the whole cast, and Fox said, luckily, Fox said, no, we don't want anything to do with it.
I would rather talk about Bio Broly than talk about
Oh,
that
oh.
movie.
That's true.
Yeah, Harvard. I heard the moans. Yeah.
I stupidly just thought, I asked my agent, it's like, could you ask the guys at Fox if they have any interest at all in having the DBZ narrator, like, narrate the commercial for Evolution? And this, again, this is before the movie came out and everyone saw what a train wreck it was. Yeah, no, they have no interest.
But you don't know though, because they could be a fan and go, I love Kyle Hebert. There is a possibility that could happen. Like, yes, if
So it's
Power-
worth trying.
It absolutely is, because
Yeah.
if you've got an exec or a director or somebody that's like, yeah, they're a big enough fan,
Yeah.
it's worth a shot. You never know, right?
Yeah. It's just
Gotta
like
try.
it's just like Ryu and Ken being in Wreck-It Ralph. That's because New Gen Pictures, where we did the dub for the game Street Fighter 4, Jonathan Klein knows someone Disney, and he's like, hey guys, we just saw the trailer. It had Bison and all that, and Zangief. Just so you know, we have the whole Dubcast in town, and then I guess that helped plant that seed. So
That's all
we
that
got to
happened?
do. Yeah,
Jonathan?
Yeah, I think
Nice.
so.
Oh.
Good looking out, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Well, now technically, since Disney bought up Fox, does that mean they have the live action rights? So is Bulma technically a Disney princess?
Disney princess.
Well,
Why not?
you're you're married to a prince.
Yeah, I mean, but
Yes.
exactly. I mean, she's the queen,
Oh,
obviously.
yeah, well, now you're dating Bulma.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
that could be your in with Disney now.
That could be.
Maybe like if they start picking something up, be like, hey, you want the announcer voice from the original series? Come
It's
on.
like, hey guys, hey guys.
Hey.
People tell you that you remind them of, besides Bulma.
Emma Stone is
Driving me
one.
crazy.
Yeah?
Okay, what else?
I don't know. Like, over the years, it's changed so much. I got nothing. I don't know what to tell you.
Ah, it's stressful.
right.
Anybody? Any suggestions from the audience?
who
You
do
remind
I?
me of the person from Life is Strange.
I don't know that one.
I've heard of that game, but I haven't played it yet.
All right, I don't
All right, enough about me.
I just
Now.
derailed this. All right.
So, do we have any questions from the audience, by the way?
Consciousness.
Yeah, let's start with you right here.
What was it like screaming all the time when you did the voice? Like, because I've seen the shows, you guys really scream your asses off. You scream, yeah.
Almost.
I got real dizzy. Cell screams a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you gotta, because you remember when back in the Whisper Room days or whatever, luckily those things are pretty small, so you can kind of like put your hand out to like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But who ate it? Sean?
Sean did.
Sean went out, he went down. I think Savick.
Eric Vale.
Did Eric go down?
Possibly. Justin Cook.
Did you guys have any, like, what do they say, like apple cider vinegar or anything like on the ready? Like, did you have any sort of like healing process for yourselves after screaming for that long?
Lozenges.
Tea. Singer Saving Grace is throat spray.
Oh, those are
Green apples for clicking.
Yeah.
But nowadays, Chinese cough syrup. That's the magic stuff.
Good to know.
They call it Hulk juice because Fred Tatasciore, the animated Hulk voice,
Yep.
he discovered it and says, man, it helps you
Amazon?
survive.
Amazon?
Yeah, go to Amazon, type in Chinese cough syrup, and the brand will
They're
come
not a
up
sponsor,
very
but
first one.
do it.
Not sponsored, but yeah, syrup or lozenges, different
My
flavors.
God, we don't make anything in America even anymore. Even the cough syrup is outsourced.
Voice over endorsement.
What the
could that happen?
hell?
Yeah.
I use a Neumann.
Vicks Vapor Rub, you rub that in the
Oh,
inside
yeah.
of your throat.
On the inside?
Yeah, try it.
Yeah, try it. No, do not. Please, do not try that at home, kids. No.
Let's see what kind of
Yeah.
I can get up to here.
And if you
Tabasco
your skin
sauce
that's
is
in it, nothing to
good.
do with it.
Bleach works.
Stop this microphone. Go ahead.
Kyle, my question's for you. How do you feel that Gohan looks like he's going to be the central figure in the next Dragon Ball Super movie?
It looks amazing, but I don't know if that's true or not. Because I've seen
I-
the trailer, we haven't recorded yet, so I honestly don't know how big or small his role is. I mean, they say, rumors, I mean, I'm hearing rumors that
And even
sells
if you
it.
didn't know, dude.
Even if I did know, that's true.
You guys know that.
We're under NDA, but I
can't-
mean, the world's gonna know in a matter of weeks, because the Japanese version comes out.
Yeah, they postponed that, right? It was supposed to be like a month ago, the red carpet for that, for the Japanese version.
Then they got hacked.
That's
What?
okay, because I got the notification of the red carpet and I was like, yeah, and then I was like, no, I'm turning it.
Psych!
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the red carpet for some reason is in Idaho.
Yeah, right? Wait a second.
Call back.
It's all coming together.
That's gravity.
Yeah, you hold your phone, yeah.
I was gonna ask, what was your guys' like favorite blooper moment that you guys had while like recording?
Favorite blooper moment while you're recording?
You can't actually really talk about the ones you really like.
Oh.
Mostly from the cursing, or?
Yeah, they're not fair.
They're not, they're naughty.
Blooper moment. Not super common when you're dealing with things like anime and whatnot, right? If you have a script.
You have a script, but we don't get to rehearse ahead of time, so it's like cold read. Like,
That's true.
so you might mispronounce something, and everyone deals with flubs their own way. Some people just break into song like I do, like.
Or you change the line on purpose just because you think at the end of the year it'll make some kind of reel at a rap party or something.
If you're in a scene with somebody and they tell that other actor that's in the scene to record something, it'll leave a bomb for you, and that means they're gonna play it, and something completely out of left field, not the scripted line, is gonna do that to make you blow your line.
Because sometimes we'll have the option of like whoever ends up recording first is kind of screwed because they don't have any lead-in lines or something from another character. So if like Kyle goes before me, then I might have the option of listening to Kyle's delivery, talking to my character, which is obviously advantageous. So he can leave some, if he knows that I'm going to listen to it, he can leave something stupid for me.
Yes.
That's going to hurt my feelings.
Right.
Yeah, because
More than likely, because Kyle's a very mean person.
and generally you guys never are recording at the same time. Like you don't have each other to bounce off of.
No.
No, that's as good as it gets.
Yeah.
So if we're doing our job right, you watch the finished product and it sounds like we're in the same room, but the truth is, we are recording in a vacuum. It's like, at most, for the most part, we're hearing the Japanese version as our reference. And, you know, even if they do have the other character in the scene, I've noticed a lot of directors will just mute that, and we're just still on our own.
Well, just forget about it or whatever. And you have to remind them. I go, is there any way you can leave me in from anything? Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, because we don't know context. We don't know how big or small to make something. It's like there are 50 different ways to say the word no. You know, no.
So then that's kind of the
what's
rule of
intent?
three. You have to get I give a few different versions so they can kind of monkey around in the editing room to figure out. Hold on, sorry, just put myself to sleep.
Yeah.
But you have more freedom when it's a cartoon. But in anime, it's like maybe the line may be overwritten or underwritten, so we have to still keep the intent of the line. We can't just totally change it arbitrarily. And people will say, how come it says this in the subtitle, but you changed it to this? It's like, well, it has to fit the mouth flaps. And, you know, there is a concerted effort to make it, you know, conversational, so that a mainstream English-speaking audience won't say, well, this is very Japanese specific, especially in a show that's set in an alien world or something completely different like Dragon Ball. It's like, that's not America. It's not. Is it even Earth? I don't know. It's it's an alternate world. So.
Yeah, because there's like dinosaurs, but there's also like pet people. You know what I'm talking about? Like the dog with the governor. Yeah, just all that kind of stuff.
I voiced that dog.
You voiced that
That's
dog
one
too.
of the very first things I voiced there was King Furry.
Yes, King Furry. That's right.
Hey, furry.
There's a joke there. It's so easy.
I know. Back then I didn't know what a furry
Hanging
was.
fruit.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah.
He's still known as King Furry online in certain German websites.
Going on. There's just kids in the audience. Go ahead.
So I've talked to both of you. You know, obviously my main reason for being here is for both of you specifically because my favorite character is Future Gohan, and obviously both of you have played the role. Now, obviously talking to you both individually, every time I mention him, you guys always say Ultimate Gohan. Is there a reason for that?
Well, there's two. You see, do I get that confused? Because Ultimate Gohan and Future Gohan are the same thing.